Cradle of Darkness have made its way into PSO2 New Genesis with the Crimson Realm, and today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know from what you get to how to actually get the best equipment and loot out of the new activity inside of NGS. But before we hop into all that, welcome back to your #1 stop for PSO2 New Genesis gameplay, how-tos, and everything in between, and we cannot forget about all that jazz. And of course, I do want to give a giant thank you to everybody that is supporting over on twitch.tv/Maconn, patreon.com/Maconn, and everyone here on YouTube that hitting that wonderful membership below. Thank you, my dudes. And with that, let's jump into this and let's discuss everything you need to know about the Crimson Realms. So the Crimson Realm itself is, of course, right now at the time of the video, is 100% tied to Kavalis, but just know in the future, allegedly, this is supposed to be rotating through all the different regions, but for the time being, it is just Kavalis, and in the case of today, it is taking place in Lost Central. And the way you know that a Crimson Realm is available is, of course, the realm title itself will be listed in purple, as well as having a symbol next to it. But just know the Crimson Realm itself do rotate with inside of Kavalis itself, since right now, at the time of me making that video, it's available in Lost Central, as well as at a later date will be available in the ruins as well. I'm not 100% sure what is the timeline here for it changing. I'm not for sure if it's a daily thing or not. If you know, feel free to let me know in the comment below. But nonetheless, it does rotate between the two battle sectors in Kavalis. Another thing to keep in mind about this is that activity is not on like a timer. It does not disappear. Right now, it is a content, so it will always be on in one of the zones. So you can go ahead and jump into it at any point in time. So you don't got to worry about scheduling or getting it down to a certain time like you do with Origin Quests. It's just always available. So just head on to Kavalis, figure out which zone is in purple, and head on in to start this activity. But you might be thinking, what exactly is the main draw of the Crimson Realm and why you should be doing it right now? Of course, we will talk about some of the rewards in a moment, but the main thing gameplay-wise of why you want to take advantage of this is, of course, this is absolutely one of the best ways to get PSE boosts, and as well as Encore and Forza as well, which, if you know anything about PSO farming, of course, Forza and Encore is a very good way to get your hands on a whole bunch of capsules, as well as a decent way to gain experience. So another reason outside of farming capsules, and that the main thing you're going to be getting here, is, of course, also by taking part in it, you will gain a whole bunch of experience. So if you're out here trying to farm up some armor final 1s or 2s, and you're trying to enhance your equipment to get it to plus 80, this is absolutely the best way to do it. Just know to actually get into this activity, it is a rank 4 level 85. So, of course, this right now is the main in-game outside of sliding your credit card. So make sure you are max level and head on in there and go ahead and farm you up some armor finals, as well as, of course, your capsules. But once again, we will go into the more detail about your rewards in a moment. But with that being said, when you are taking part in the realm itself, from a combat effective, the main thing that is changing here, and also what is changing PSE boosts, not counting the Encore, the Forza, is, of course, now by taking part in trials in the Crimson Realm, you will go ahead and get extra buffs for your whole party, or just mainly every player in that area. So to find out when you have the buff available to you is, of course, by looking up on the left side of the screen around the map in the PSE book counter, and you would notice a few symbols available here, with, of course, a little like round grill symbol, the Forza symbol, as well as a Encore, right along with a number next to the Forza and the Encore as well. So let's just go ahead and talk about each of the buffs and what they actually do. First of all, the very top one is pretty straightforward. It's pretty much just a bonus to your PSE as far as getting the scale to level up faster. So just some bonus affiliates, or I get whatever you want to call the currency that you to level up your balls. So if you have an F, that is a guarantee of Forza. So once you hit your PSE balls, and once the PS balls ends, you will roll right into a Forza, and it 100% guarantee, which is fantastic, because you no longer have the RNG chance of it happening. You know for a fact when a Forza is going to happen. And the E, as you probably can imagine, stand for encores, and encores are also a guarantee encore for your PSE. So how these stacks operate is, once again with the number net to it, is how many you are guaranteed. As of now, it seemed like supposed to be indefinitely, but from my testing as well as looking at some other content creators, it seemed like 2 seemed to be the most average that you will be getting here. So of course, what it will end up meaning is, of course, you will hit a Forza will end, will right into an encore, and the stack itself will drop down from, if you have 2, to 1. That doesn't mean that it's going to constantly keep doing Forza and encore as long as you have the number net to it. It means once you actually do your PSE, it will into Forza, roll into encore, and then of course your PSE gauge will go ahead and reset, and then the net PSE that you get will then roll into another Forza, into a encore here. And that right there is a fantastic little change here, since now when you are in the Crimson Round doing the PSE bosses, you know how many PSE Forza and encore you're going to get, which in return make it a lot easier, so you don't happen to run into a situation of, well, you do a PSE boss and you leave just for another Forza or encore to happen. So pretty much this is just a nice little touch as far as communicating to the players of what is happening when it coming to your PSE, Forza, and encore. But as you can imagine, that right there is the main thing of interest when it comes to how the gameplay operate now inside of the zone of the Crimson Realm, since now this has become absolutely the best way in the game at the time of that video to take part in PSE, as well as with this being the main draw of the Crimson Realm, is it a lot less downtime between PSE bosses, since you will constantly be almost filled up at all points. So in return, back in other zones, you might end up spending a 10-15 minute before PSE. Well, that one, you're going to get multiple PSEs in the same amount of time. So if you are trying to your PSE board daily, or you may be taking part in them from May here, you can go ahead and knock out the quests super fast for all 2 of you who cares about that like me. So that also a bonus for taking part in the activity. So when it comes to actually getting the bonuses, I did mention a little bit a moment ago about the trial. The trials itself is also a very big change coming into the Crimson Realm. So the main thing about this is, of course, the trial itself will have some bosses that you will go ahead and have to defeat within a time limit. But just as an example here is, of course, you will have a boss that you will have 2 minutes, 3 minutes to defeat, and of course the bosses will have a little extra HP, as well as the new boss will actually have a actual life bar showing you how far you are from defeating it, and by defeating it and how you get the bonuses. So in return, ideally you want to have some very good equipment, be in a full party, and hopefully be able to put out enough DPS to defeat the enemy within the time limit, so you can go ahead and get the bonuses. So to keep that in mind, that this is something that you are going to need a little bit of equipment to your character. So not only do you got to be level 85, ideally you do want to have some level up equipment with some decent augment to take full advantage of this, so you can go ahead and get the bonuses. And outside of the time limit itself, some of the bosses will have a certain conditions you also got to meet beyond defeating them to get the bonuses, such as defeating the boss without any deaths in the party. So if anyone died, any of you defeat the boss, you will not be getting the bonuses. So make sure you keep an eye on exactly what bots have what, so you know what to do and what not to do, since if in the case of that one boss, if you do die, you will no longer get the bonuses. So let's go ahead and talk about the actual new boss in this. And of course, the new boss do have a few things making it distant here. Well, other bosses do require you to defeat it within a time limit and without dying. This boss will require you to beat it in 3 minutes, so you do got a little bit of extra time for him. Once again, he will have a life bar over his head as well. And outside of course defeating this boss with him being any more tankier and have a lot more HP, his win condition is totally different. Well, now instead of defeating, it's going to be tied to doing X amount of damage within the 3-minute timer. Since that fight for a lot of players all super challenging, and more than likely you will not actually defeat him your 4th try. So with that being said, Sega will leap nice enough here to make this a damage output thing, going from level 1 to 4, and the more damage you do and a higher level you get within that damage output, you will go ahead and get bonuses for the boss itself. So any if you fail, you still will get something. So of course you do have the rewards of getting your Forte and your Encore. But the other thing about this boss is this boss will also give you some item reward as well for defeating it. So let's go ahead and discuss this, since there is a few things you will get if you are able to defeat the enemy. So to start off, you will of course get 15 of each the 3 new capsules that come with it boss, as well as 2 founder capsules. And outside the capsule, you do get an item here, which can be a weapon for you. It seems like a lot of these are Weldy 10 weapons. So this seems like a little more of an RNG loot table as far as what weapon you're going to get. But nonetheless, there is something to keep in mind as well if you are trying to farm a $10 weapon as of now inside of NGS. But with that all being said, if you're not able to defeat the boss itself, do not worry, because not only with, once again, the bonus with Forte and stuff, is also you are going to be guaranteed some of the items for each of the ball you fill up, from getting 5 of the capsule to 10 of the capsule to the full 15. So depending on what ball you get to is how many you're going to get. So just keep that in mind. Any of you only get the ball to the level 1 damage ball, do not worry, you will still get your hands on some of the new capsules that you are needing for your weapons right now. So keep that in mind. Not a total loss. So with this all being said though, and as I stated earlier about this having a lot less downtime compared to other battle sector, the meta for this for actually getting your bar filled and getting the bonuses is of course what you're going to do. It pretty much just follow the E to the T and so on. So do not have to worry about killing trash mobs anymore. So just make sure you are doing your E's and T trials to get your hands on this stuff. And as of now, that right there is everything you need to know about the Crimson Round, from what items you get to how to get the best out of it. And hopefully you have found this video helpful. If you have, be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells below. And of course, come on over to my live stream that we do once again over on twitch.tv/TroyMaconn every single day. And if you want to watch here on YouTube, you can do so, since we are live here on YouTube every single Monday through Friday as well. Because on Saturday and Sunday, we of course built some Gundams and watched some video and do some other stuff. And you know, there's a chance that Saturday and Sunday video might get copyrighted depending on what happens. So of course, Saturday and Sunday is exclusive to Twitch. So come on over to twitch.tv/TroyMaconn once again, or of course Monday through Friday here on YouTube, where we are playing through. Of course, right now we are in the process of our Final Fantasy marathon on Mondays and Tuesdays. Wednesdays is of course PSO. Thursday, whatever we want to play, and then of course Friday we are hunting monsters and Monster Hunter World. So once again, do the thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells so you don't miss any of that. And of course, if you do want to support the channel, don't forget you can do so by hitting up patreon.com/Maconn, heading over to Twitch and subscribing over there, and of course hitting that wonderful join button here on YouTube and be like all the wonderful folks. Thank you, my dudes. And with that, that's going to do it for me. And I will see you in the comments.